It's national meets regional. Welcome to Sidewalks Entertainment, the long-running celebrity, music, and art series. Join us now for an exciting new path to celebrity interviews, music, rising talents, and much, much more.
Here to talk about on-demand doctor house calls is celebrity doctor, Dr. Drew. Hi, Dr. Drew. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
Now, you've led a very successful career as a physician and celebrity doctor for some time now. I'd like to know what started it all. I mean, what first led to you taking your medical expertise to radio and television?
Right, an accident, not in the sense of a blunder, but a happy accident. My whole career has sort of been one happy accident after another. I lived down the street from a radio station, which in 1983 became very popular in Los Angeles overnight, and friends of mine were starting to interact with people at that radio station, and they had a late night show where they were trying to create some community service content, and somebody said, hey, Pinsky's in medical school, maybe he can help. I had no idea what they were talking about, but it sounded interesting, and I went up there. And that was Loveline back in the day, 1983. And I was like, I just was stunned that the lack of understanding that young people had about their reproductive biology, and no one was talking to them about AIDS. In fact, we had just stopped calling it GRIDS, gay-related intestinal disease syndrome, and now we're calling it AIDS. We hadn't identified the causative agent yet. We were just beginning to talk about HTLV3, but no one was talking to young people about it. I thought, I've got to come back, keep talking about this. So that's what really motivated me to stay with it. So for the next 10 years, I did it one night a week. I thought I was doing community service. That's really what I thought I was doing. And it became part of my life. It became a whole thing, so.
That's incredible. And you know what? It's hard to believe that it all started in 83 because I remember, and you know, I won't say names or anything, but I remember I knew some people who actually called your show in the 90s. Yeah. Now, when you look back, how would you describe your overall experience of being on that show?
Rewarding. I mean, I feel like we served a need. It was a naive idea I had when I started. I thought, God, if I were, I was 24 years old when I started, and I thought, well, if I were 17, 18, 20, what would I want to know? I had this body of information now as a doctor, and I thought it would be so easy for them to understand it, and just answered questions. I just was happy to be available. It was meaningful every night.
Now, what inspires you to continue your work in mass media?
What inspires me now?
Yeah.
In making a difference. I mean, if it says that on my tombstone, I'll be delighted. He made a difference. That's all I'm interested in. I've been lucky enough to have access to media, and I sort of feel a responsibility. I always did it as kind of a second thought, like just let me practice medicine and I'll do some of this stuff, this media stuff. And it kind of took over about 8 or 10 years ago. And so I'm trying to pay more attention and use media to do good.
And now you've teamed up with HEAL. Now, tell me a little bit about HEAL. What is HEAL and how does it work?
Fundamentally, HEAL is an organization that provides high-quality physician services in your homes within 2 hours, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. There is no reason you should be going to urgent care if you have HEAL in your community, which you do. And it's $99 all in, or if you have insurance or Medicare, they will cover it. So why would you waste your time and all that medical expense? And by the way, when you go to urgent care, those physicians are busy with emergencies. They don't have the time to focus on routine kinds of problems, which is what HEAL is designed to focus on.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that more people don't take advantage of this because, for example, working mothers like myself, this would be really convenient. Now, why do you think that some people might be hesitant to try out the service?
I don't think they're hesitant. I just don't think they know. We have a problem with people thinking of going to urgent care and emergency rooms. It's anathema. That is not an efficient way to use health care. And by the way, you mentioned being a busy woman. I mean, women always prioritize everyone else's health care needs. Good, yeah. Bring them in for the children or the running, whatever it is you need the kids seen for, but make sure you get seen also.
Now, what cities is HEAL available in?
Washington, D.C., San Diego, Los Angeles, Atlanta.
Awesome. And
San Francisco, of course. San Francisco, of course.
Yeah, San Francisco, I was going to say.
Of course.
Now, where could people get more information on it?
Go to heal.com. It's all there. Or get the Heal app. Get somebody. You will be astonished. These are highly qualified, board certified, often carefully selected physicians. So you'll get good care, I promise.
Now, in light of Women's Health Awareness Week, what are some things that women should do proactively when it comes to their health?
Well, I mean, there's so many things. I mean, today, women born, one of the things I'm focusing on myself is people born between 1957 and 1980. Check your vaccine history. You may want to talk to your doctor about getting titers to make sure you're covered for measles. We are heading towards a very serious problem with that, and you want to make sure you and your family are covered. Obviously, the usual screening needs for women in terms of screening for breast cancer, mammography, regular pelvic examinations. Make sure if you're in the proper age brackets, that you've had the HPV vaccine. That vaccine will prevent cancer. There's many unique, specific needs for women that they should be attending to.
Now, before we run out of time, you do have a lot of fans out there, one of them including Catherine in Los Banos, California. She says, I watched your show Celebrity Rehab and it inspired me to help others. And how raw the show was sometimes helped me to better relate to my job now. Now, for Catherine and anyone who's been inspired by your work, what would you like to say to them?
Well, let me just speak to Catherine. I mean, I literally got chills when she said that. There's no greater compliment, and nothing that excites me more than people going into helping professions, or they're inspired by seeing us doing our work. I would say if anyone, Catherine, to Catherine and other Catherines out there, thank you. You are doing God's work. I know how hard it is. You're in the trenches. Keep going.
Wonderful. Well, again, Dr. Drew, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
You bet.
You take care.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
For more full-length celebrity interviews, visit sidewalkstv.com.